Yo, it's Real 92.3, man. The Real After Party. Me, Bootleg, Kev, the homie DJ Damage, with a legend. Couple legends in the building, I should say, man.
Legends in this building,
we
man.
got RZA and Mathematics.
Peace, peace. Bong.
What's good?
Peace. Yo, man.
It's all good, dude.
Now, real quick, I was on your Facebook, man. You posted about this weird article you seen. Tell me about this article.
Oh, yeah. I came back from Chicago Riot Fest. I read an article, I think it was in Bloomberg, and it said something about the Shkreli has bought a fake Wu-Tang album.
Did he buy the real Wu-Tang album?
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, right?
Yeah, he bought. Yeah,
That's what we were all under the impression, but it seems like
yeah. Then I read further, and it says, it just went on to say Shaheem and my Killer Sin, both young brothers, students. Shaheem was used to steal rhymes out my rhyme book.
Right.
He's my little brother's best friend, and Killer Sin was my little brother's best friend. And they both on a tough time right now. They both locked up, just FYI. And then they had two managers, saying something. It was just weird to read that, that a journalist would print a story without doing the research, without being in tune, and without having reliable sources. It was just funny to me. I was like, hold on, what the hell? Why would you? Hello? And then I read it said, we reached out to RZA. He wasn't available for comment. I'm like,
like what?
When did you read? But you know what? I read my emails. I don't read my emails every day. I'm not the everyday email dude. And there's an email in there from a lady that says, "We'd love to speak to you." Okay, cool. Well, when I'll get back to you, baby.
Right.
I'm not gonna drop everything.
Busy.
Yeah. But anyway, now it was bugged out. So I just thought it was funny. I think it's funny, that if you don't do journalism without research. It's simple mathematics.
Of course, man. No pun intended.
So it is confirmed that he did buy the real, actual, authentic.
He got
Wu-Tang
something that's
album.
very unique, something that that was recorded in secret, took years to record. It took a lot of everything to make that record what it is.
So that album, how would you rank it amongst the other Wu solo albums?
I would take that album. In all reality, if that album is kind of like a replica of Wu-Tang Forever.
Oh wow,
It's 25 songs. I mean, I can't talk too much about it, right?
Right. Oh, you can. Yeah.
But I can say that much. Wu-Tang Forever was a double album of a lot of energy grabbed together. This album was made in that spirit. The difference, though, I will say this though. There's a Wu universe, bro.
Of course.
And without naming names, the Wu universe is on that album. So this is say one name. I'm gonna give me one obscure name from Wu-Tang, an obscure member.
We were just talking about, Killer Priest too. I don't know if that's obscure per se, but
He's on it.
he's on it.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. All right, give me an obscure vocalist, if you could think of one.
I can't think of anybody else.
Anybody? Nobody? Okay, we'll pass. All right, move on. Next subject.
That's crazy. So that album, when you were, because everybody talks about how much of a piece of shit this Martin Shkreli guy is.
Shkreli.
I don't know. I mean, I think he's kind of funny on his, because he's always trying to start beef with rappers and shit. I think it's crazy.
He's like a super villain.
Yeah, he is. But like, did you negotiate with him directly, RZA, or did you have your people talk to him, or?
I could talk about this part. In the beginning, I met him in New York.
He said he's from New York, right?
He's from New York. I met him at the Soho House. He later on wrote that when he met me, I'm God, like my shit don't stink.
You the Abbott and shit.
Yeah,
right?
I could have been on that day like that. It's possible. I'm here today though. Am I on Earth?
No, you did it to the right person though.
All right, there it is.
He needed to be.
He needed to be okie dokie.
Okay,
Exactly.
but he had a intriguing story though. His parents came here, immigrants. Father was a janitor. They was poor, living in a part of Brooklyn called Sheepshead Bay, which is near Coney Island. Unique place to live, just to say. And he described how his father worked to get him up to pay the rent and the struggles they went to, and he ended up going to the Bronx School of Science, which is a school I applied for. You can't get into that school without passing a test, right? There's 3 schools like that in New York. He makes it into that school. You got to be smart to get there.
For sure.
And he goes on and worked for Pfizer as an intern. and he helps improve some of their, I guess, patents or medicines. And next thing you know, when I met him, he was worth $200 million.
That's crazy, man.
So this is a guy from the bottom at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Now, when I met him, this is before he sold that pill.
Right,
so this is like March or April. And so I'm like, you know what? Hey, I could relate to that. He's like Wu-Tang lyrics, 50 Cent. He loved Wu. He loved 50 Wu. He named Nas, And he said that some of Wu-Tang lyrics resonate directly with him. So I was like, cool. He was one of the candidates. And then as we narrowed it down, he became the candidate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was other billionaires that wanted to buy the record for different reasons. And out of those billionaires, he was the poorest because he was only like about 200 mil. Mm-hmm. But guess what? He put his money where his mouth was at. So that part of him was cool. Now, after we, shake on it, because once you shake on it, you shake on it. 2 months later, I'm in my crib, back out here in L.A., my wife, we watching Bill Maher, our favorite.
Shouts to Bill.
I love watching Bill Maher. I don't care. It's my Friday night news channel.
Mine too.
He's doing this joke, and he goes, "How about this shitty asshole?" and he picks up this guy. I said, "Wait a minute, I just met that motherfucker." Right? And it was Martin. And I was like, "Wow!" And then it went worse and worse for him. You know what I mean? But and that's he got to deal with that. But what he did do is music to me had got devalued. To whereas we're not.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, we'll pay $600 for our headphones.
Yeah,
but won't pay $1 for the tracks.
It's true.
That's
so the idea of putting value back in music was something that I had aspirations to do. Silver Rings and some other people that was involved with it, and he helped bring that to fruition in his own weird way, yo.
I mean, it was a good idea. It was like, here, we're gonna make one album and just sell it for to the highest bidder.
Yeah, it was. So he kind of helped make history on the negative side with his fucking pill heist. I'm cursing. You're gonna bleep me out, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, with the pill heist. In fact, there's a song I want you to play if you guys get a chance off the new album, The Saga Continues. It's called Lessons Learned.
Lessons Learned.
Yeah, featuring Inspector Deck and Redman back to back, and Rebel INS got a lyric in there that's so cool that kind of taps on it. But anyway, enough about that guy. Right?
Hey, is it safe to say that Inspector Deck is probably the most slept on lyricist in Wu-Tang? Isn't that like? Can we like talk about like the Triumph verse, the verse on the Gangstar record? Like Jesus Christ.
I think Inspector Deck is one of the most slept on MCs in the indie field because he's one of the best MCs.
I would say everybody like like Inspector Deck got 2 of the best verses like ever. Like
yeah, like
nobody talks about Inspector Deck.
If you was to write 20 top lyrics, we did that earlier. We had like Nas, I Gave You Power.
Of course.
That's going to be in your top 20 list, all right? But A Bomb Atomically is going to be in that top 20 list too.
That might be like
it's in there.
Top 3 for me as a fan, for sure.
It's in there. So Inspector Deck, he never lets us down. On the new song, people say, he said something like, I got the streets lit, like Michael Jackson in the Billie Jean vid.
Oh, wow. Shout out to Inspector Deck, man.
Yeah, that's witty.
I want to talk to you, RZA. Obviously,
Didn't lose a touch.
You've had like so many different like careers. You had your Wu-Tang run, and then the Bobby Digital run, and then you got into acting, and then you got into scoring movies and going on the other side of the camera. The one thing that I miss is like hearing RZA beats on like if I see somebody's album coming out, like I'm like damn, like I feel like that's what I feel like the game's missing. RZA beats, Kanye beats. I feel like Kanye don't produce for other people anymore. You know what I'm saying? And do you think first of all, why is that? And does it have anything to do with what you were saying about kind of music being devalued a little bit?
2 things. One, I'm not schizophrenic. I will say that first. But that clear. I do a lot of different things.
No, you do so much. I'm saying I
gotta put that out there first. I'm not a schizo. I just think that creativity could be expressed in many ways.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I am a type of dude, though. My personality betrays me. If I got on this jacket and you came with it tomorrow, I'm not wearing it no more. So when somebody else start doing something, I stop doing it and move on. Now, I ain't saying that's good or bad. It's just a personality trait about me. Now, do I think that the world could use more RZA beats, more Kanye beats, or more Premier beats, more beats of those who give us that shock? I think so. You know what I mean? Where the energy inspired me, my creative nerve pinch to say, put a year back into that before you close the door on it. If it hits me, I just go by what my spirit is feeling. But right now, my spirit is feeling. I love being able to executive produce. I got one of the best producers sitting right beside me in mathematics.
He's produced the whole new Wu album, right?
The whole Saga Continue is produced by him. He's mastered the sound. I like the fact that I ain't got to push the button, you know what I mean? But yet, when I hear it, I could go, wow, that's it. You know what I mean?
We were talking earlier how you were saying that you were RZA's best student. Is mathematics RZA's best student on the beats?
You know what? At this particular point, yeah. He's, fourth disciple, he might be, he's going to hear this and get pissed, maybe. True Mass, what he's going to do. He's going to go crazy. You know what I mean? And even those who picked it up from the streets, you know what I mean? Math has got it mastered right now, yo. And this album is a testament to it. But since the album it's already done, it's in the can, right? He played me 4 new songs from this new artist called Who Hef. And Who Hef is like he's a Staten Islander. He's a heavy set MC. He's like the Staten Island Biggie right now. Right? You know what I mean? But no, he has that thick tongue voice that heavy brothers be having. And Math played me 4 songs he did with him, and it's like, yo, Math is he's just in the zone right now.
That's what's up.
Speaking of new artists, I recently seen you bigged up Vic Mensa, in his freestyle. You said Sharp Sword.
Yeah.
What's some other young MCs you feel like got that sharp sword?
I mean, we know Kendrick. Kendrick, you know that.
Without a doubt.
If we could get a Kendrick RZA collaboration, that'd be a fucking hip hop wet dream.
Kendrick's on fire. J. Cole's, those guys are on fire. But Young and Vic Mensa's about what, 27 now?
No, Vic Mensa's like probably what, 20?
I don't know.
4?
So he's ahead of it. So he's ahead of the curve.
Yeah, he's a little young.
Me and Nas talked about this like Nas was an MC who made it to MC mastery at the age of 15.
Yeah.
That's like a Bobby Fischer in chess. You know what I mean? So in that level, I think Joey Badass is headed to that level. I think Joey's probably 22 years old.
Yeah, Joey's amazing.
Young.
And he's headed. I don't know how old ASAP Ferg is.
Ferg's not too old.
But Ferg is advancing fast.
I feel like Ferg has a lot of energy that like it kind of reminds me of like just that early, like he's just got that grimy energy about him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's advanced. I heard some of his new material.
It's fire.
Color.
His new album's fire.
He's advancing fast. So who I like that's surprisingly that you may be surprised. I like A Boogie. You know what I mean?
Boogie's dope for sure.
I think Boogie is he's witty, he's comfortable. He's found his tonation
For sure.
You know what I mean? So that's important. So. I think even Kodak found this tonation.
Yeah.
He doesn't say the same.
He found himself.
The deepness of metaphorical things, but he's found this tonation.
He's in his pocket for sure. You mentioned Kendrick for a second. How did you feel about, obviously you guys are the originators of like having the martial arts and the hip hop, and now Kendrick's Kung Fu Kenny now, and I don't know if you saw his tour. He's got ninjas on with swords on stage.
He's killing it. We talked about that, right? Not about him. We was in the studio one day, and he said something to me that
you and Kendrick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
And he said something about that even for Wu and him, like being a West Coast dude and liking Kung Fu wasn't totally in sync with the rest of his peers.
Of course.
But his pops loved it. You know what I mean? So he's just a product of his pops. You know what I mean? And then us being able to make it cool in hip hop makes it not be uncool.
Right.
So I'm really happy. I tell this to the Wu all the time. It's like when Kanye started rocking the soul samples and Ninth Wonder in them. It was like when I say Wu-Tang Forever, I ain't just talking about us. I'm just saying that what we showing, it's not going nowhere. So it's a blessing to see that Kendrick can embrace that from his, whether it's on his own accord, whether it's on Wu-Tang accord, whether it's on his father's accord. It's good that he could embrace it and bring it back to the world, yo.
For sure.
And I think it's dynamite. And then when maybe some people don't even know Wu-Tang, right? And they just know it from Kenny. Kung Fu Kenny is their introduction to martial art hip hop.
Right.
And then they'll go back and say, oh, wow, wait, the Wu was doing it. Just like how Dave Chappelle tell us, Richard Pryor inspired him. You know what I mean? It's that kind of energy.
100%. This new album is the Saga continues the Wu-Tang album we've been waiting for, because I was definitely I was as a Wu-Tang diehard fan.
Okay.
I was a little disappointed with the last Wu album, the last official Wu album.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock this dude out. Just fucking not.
But I like the new record with Redman. Is this like, I'm sure you hear like internet chatter, is this the Wu-Tang album that we've been waiting for a very, very long time?
I would say the sonics for this album is that Wu sonics that that you guys that the fans are used to. It's not following my evolution. It's actually staying right where you want it to be. The evolution that Allah Math has added to it, and he could speak for it himself. It was 2 albums that he studied before he got into this album.
Which 2 albums were those?
Into the 36 Chambers.
Of course.
And then The Chronic, 2001.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So those are 2 master classic albums. Yeah. And if you listen to this song, People Say, or every other song on this record, you'll feel the Wu frequency, but you hear the clarity. You know what I mean? So sometimes you'll put on a Wu vinyl, it'll be lower than your man. But
I love it though.
Yeah, no, but
right.
it still hit your cerebrum. He found a way to take the filter through the ASR instead of using the ASR as the primary source.
I get you.
Maybe the filter through it. Yeah, he
some technical talk right here.
He figured something out, and it's working. And what's more important is that the Wu MCs are lyrically inspired to be more free.
That's dope.
When I produce sometime, and whether it's good or bad, like when I did A Better Tomorrow, my idea was to make an album that was a grown man's album. I thought that we should, show that we're grown men instead of, we're the same guys that was selling cracks and dealing with that or trying to prove we're the best MCs. I was like, let's put that to the side for a minute and let's see if we can make a grown man's album. And we didn't because it wasn't natural.
Right.
It wasn't successful, you know what I mean? One of my brothers came back though, when Master Killer came back, him and Power, after listening to Jay-Z album, they was like,
that's some grown man. He did it.
He did it. Exactly.
Yep.
And that's what Master Killer said. He said, we didn't, if we would have understood it and got on board, we would have been able to do it, but we didn't understand it. So sometimes I'm always a couple of years ahead in ideas.
100%.
You know what I mean? So, but you know what? They don't got to do that. Mathematics, who grew under us and mastered that Wu sound, has now provided a sound bed for them to be themselves. And the fans is going to hear the Wu-Tang lyric mentality based on today's reality. And that's what I think is the best thing about this album.
100%. I can't wait to hear it. Everybody's on the album? Was anybody missing from the album, or we got all?
Spoiler alert. Well, we held back something.
So someone's not on the album.
Yeah, we had to hold something back. You know what I mean? Political reasons.
Okay.
Damn.
What do you think? I feel like over the last few years, a lot of your guys' like maybe intergroup issues have kind of come to the surface a little bit.
Yeah, reality TV.
Yeah, some reality TV shit for sure. Like it's obviously very hard to have 9 dudes all on the same page. Rest in peace ODB. If he was still alive, it'd be 10 dudes.
If he was alive, it'd probably be the solution. But anyway,
I respect that. But is that your role as the at least public? You're kind of the public leader. You're the Abbott. You're the Abbott of the group. I know you just mentioned like Jizz is like the leader, but like you're really the leader. You're kind of like the guy that I think everybody looks as like the leader of Wu-Tang. Is that something that gets frustrating to kind of you're like the guy who's got to pull everybody together?
Super frustrating. I mean, to be blunt with you, to be real, it's not. As I increase in age and stamina, you know what I mean. It's like any person, whether your boss, he could tell you 10 times, but when he started telling you 20 times, you know what I mean. It becomes frustrating now. And even though you have all the talent, and so you might not get fired, but the drive and the energy that is taken to get something out of you becomes a different challenge. So for me, yeah, it's challenging because Wu-Tang is we don't believe in leaders.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but at a time, you got to select a leader sometimes. In the beginning, it's written in the book, so we could say this out openly. In the beginning, every member of Wu-Tang was a general. They had guys underneath them.
Which book you talking about? The Wu Manual?
Yeah.
Okay, I have that on my coffee table.
Yeah, and the Tao of Wu. But in the beginning, we, knowing, I asked them brothers to give me 5 years, okay, of dictatorship. I'm the bus driver. You guys getting on the bus.
Was this after 36 Chambers?
No, this is before 36 Chambers.
Okay. 36 Chambers.
I'm the bus driver. You guys get on the bus as passengers and don't ask me where we going, but I promise you give me 5 years, we're going to get to number one.
Right.
And everybody gave me their word. And it was a little bit of tug of war, but not as much as it is now. But within 5 years, guess what happened? Wu-Tang becomes number one. That happened in 1992, 1997, the number one album in the world.
Of course, Wu-Tang forever, man.
Okay? So we delivered. Now when it comes, then after that it became democracy, right? So now everybody got a voice, everybody got a vote, and the democracy is a good thing as well. But when it's time to like when it's time for war, you got to put your trust into a general and let him go.
Well, I do also think there's obviously obviously everybody in Wu-Tang is incredible. Like, I think a lot of people will say you got and Master Killer are probably the least known dudes, but you guys,
incredible. Yeah.
You guys verse War, I'm gonna give it to you with notes. I mean, you guys has his moments, but obviously it's RZA, at least from the public persona, RZA, Ghost, Ray, and then Meth. You know what I'm saying? As far as at least and then Jizz is right there as well.
As far as face value,
the face value of Wu-Tang Clan. And I always used to tell people just from a fan's perspective, I was like, man, I wonder if Master Killer gets the same cut as Ghostface Killer, because that would be blasphemous. But
He said that would be blasphemous.
I'm just saying.
Well, let me argue back with you. Now I will argue that equality leaves no room for dispute. And I'm a type of guy that pitches.
That is true, because there's no dispute, because otherwise then there's some sort of measurables that okay, look, I did this much on this song, so I'm gonna get.
So I'm always pitching equality,
right?
But that's not that's not working anymore. That philosophy has been removed from our equation, and I think that's part of our problem, in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, why would I pitch equality when I could probably get a bigger, if it's 8 slices, I could get 2 slices.
100%.
But I'm saying, no, I'm taking 1 slice. But now the other guy will get 2 slices, but I'm taking my 2. It becomes a different kind of equation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you think that's why a project like the Wu Massacre thing that dropped with those guys, is that the reason why those type of projects happen?
Yeah.
100%?
Definitely. But look, it's all good because look, one thing that I gotta agree to and swallow is that these are generals, yo.
100%.
These are states, and now United States is United States, but at one point everybody
Wu-Tang states now.
Yeah, everybody had their own little thing. They represented
Texas
their own
tried to secede before, remember?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So I understand it, but now that next year is a big year for us. Next year will mark 25 years. That's first of all, that means you got kids. We just mentioned.
I'm 30, so
But what's the other kid we just mentioned?
Vic Mensa wasn't even alive when
he
Wu-Tang
wasn't here
started.
yet.
Right.
Okay. You know what I mean? That's how serious. And you got people ready to celebrate that with us on a big level. So if the Earth is 25,000 miles in circumference, you understand? And history repeats itself. That number 25 is a mathematical important number, and for us. I'm putting my energy towards making sure that when that we make that 25th anniversary something great for ourselves. When you give out to your fans and you do it every day, you guys come to work and you give out. But it's the day when you gotta now reap what you sow, you have to harvest it. And I think that this is a time for us, and I hope that we all recognize that this is a harvesting time, and if we harvest together, we'll get the biggest crop back. You know what I mean?
In your opinion, excluding Only Built for Cuban Links, I would say Only Built for Cuban Links is probably the hierarchy solo Wu-Tang album. What do you think is the best solo Wu album?
It took out Cuban Links, you said?
Yeah, taking out Cuban Links.
Oh, that's good. Well, you're going to go Liquid Swords once you take out Cuban Links. Well, Math, he thinks
Supreme Clientele.
Supreme Clientele.
Supreme Clientele is probably my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ghostface is low key like one of the most consistent like MCs ever. Like he's in my top 10 all time for sure.
He's in a lot of people's top 10.
Just like consistency, like my G, like discography, like just quality back to back to back to back to back.
And nobody pushed you right there in the middle of it like Ghostface. He said, "Call the ambulance. Jamie got shot. Don't go, kid. You're my heart." He said, just keep breathing, God. Think about Keebler.
Mm-hmm.
That's
like
his
you're
daughter.
in the pain, yeah.
Yeah. Your young God needs you. We got blood on his shoes. You'll see the blood on his shoes. You know what I mean? Whereas Inspector Deck, he'll go in and he'll say how the car drove off with the bent license plate, one screw missing, upholding it, and he'll give you the license plate number.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So,
so mathematics with this album, obviously, it's to be behind the boards of a Wu-Tang album. Solo album is a big deal in hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And there's definitely a lot of pressure involved to deliver a Wu-Tang album that's dope. And because we heard about the record that you guys sold that we'll never hear. I mean, we might hear it. You never know. I don't know. Maybe when that dude dies, he'll put it out for the world. Hopefully, it happens sooner than later. I'm kidding. But
Shkreli.
Talk about the pressure, man. Of like, obviously you've been working with Wu for forever, but like the pressure of actually being behind a solo or actual group album, like an official group album, man, that's a big deal.
Yeah, actually, it really wasn't no pressure. I mean, because it's like, me personally, like I said, and the God said, I've been there for a long time.
Of course.
It's been days going into the studio when I first started producing. RZA's in there, Fourth Disciples in there, True Masters in there. I'm coming through with my beats, and when I'm playing my beats, it's like, it's like, yo, Fourth, yo, True. So it made me go back and work harder. You know what I mean? So, got to the point where I actually got it, started producing, getting better with my craft, but I never stopped perfecting it. So it's like this time around, it's like when we first started talking about it was Better Tomorrow.
Yeah.
He came to me, he's like, yo, he was hearing how I was working at that time. He was like, yo, I think you should do this next album, And at that time, I didn't think I was ready. You know what I mean? If the God was, if he seen it in me, I was like, whoa, all right, well, so that was the most pressure right there when it was first presented to me. But then after that, it's like I just kept working at my craft. So when I started, it just got to the point, and it clicks. Something clicks, and when it clicked, I got it. So it's like now, basically, I want to show the world what I can do.
Right.
So it's no pressure. It's more or less, it's done. It's like I want it out there, like how you want to hear it. I want you to hear it.
Right.
I want the world to hear it.
He's ready.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like
ready.
I want everybody to hear it.
and he got a lot of clips in his chamber too. And we here to talk about this one, but now Math is on a mission. He's that 4 o'clock in the morning guy still.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm on Cali time now.
You're on Cali time now, yeah. We're in Hollywood.
Come on.
Your wrist is Hollywood now.
No, don't say that. Yo, we got to a big argument one day. It was a Wu argument. That happened, right? And it happened. I think I had on a nice little white button-up shirt. You know what I mean? Came downstairs. Just after the show, I kind of, went and got back to, I took off my hip-hop costume and came back.
Put your Hollywood costume on.
Look, see?
Came through real clean.
I'm letting you get away with that, right? He's sitting 2 seats behind me.
There ain't gonna be too many more of those, right?
But no, but it almost got into a physical fight because, somebody was like, yo, you Hollywood. And I'm like, I'm Hollywood.
Because you changed after the show?
Why am I Hollywood? Listen, yo, I can never be. Look, I'm Hollywood in the sense of what? Because I put on a button-up shirt, yo?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He said, yeah.
No, I'm saying, I know what you're saying.
No,
though, like,
because I'm in movies. No, G, that's a blessing of artistic creation that's rising me to that point. And me putting on a button-up shirt ain't because I'm Hollywood, yo. It's because, I'm a grown-ass man. Seriously, to me, I think a grown man has a certain responsibility. You're not going to see me
in the baggy ass clothes.
You're not going to see that, yo. You know what I'm saying? On hip hop days, you'll see that.
Yeah, on stage, yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're not going to just come and see me like that because, kid, I got to go to open school night.
Did you feel like you probably brought out an insecurity in that person because they don't put on maybe those kind of clothing and maybe they don't feel like they were on their grown man? What do you feel like?
I mean, to me, I don't know. I'm not going to think for another man, but I think that they should see it. I think they're missing something. I think you're missing something. Ed Lover said it best one day in one of his radio interviews. He's like, yo, I don't want to hear these rappers 30, 35 years old still talking about they selling crack. That's a weak lyric. I don't care how dope it sounded to him. You know what I mean? And I heard him say that. I was like, he's right, yo. Like we got to evolve past that. So, but I'm just saying in a nutshell. Now, sometimes I'm looked upon that way. You know what I mean? Because I might, like I said, I may go to dinners. I'm in the DGA right now, so I'm in the Directors Guild. So I got to go to the Directors Guild meetings. Okay, that's Hollywood in a way, but I'm making it Hollywood when I get there, kid, because I'm bringing in an element that wasn't never in that building. You know what I mean? And I think we should. That's something to compliment and celebrate, not to look down on. So anyway, to finish the story. So Meth was like, because Meth been here. And then Meth was like, now you know how I used to feel. Because we used to pick on him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Talk about your relationship with Quentin Tarantino. I feel like he kind of, brought you under his wing on the director tip and on kind of on the movie shit. I know you were doing your own thing like independently, like we talked about the short film Domestic Violence earlier that I have.
Wow,
But-
you got that. Yo. That's so cool for me to hear that, yo.
Yeah, I used to buy. I'm telling you, man. I used to buy every fucking thing with the
that.
Wu-Tang logo when I was a kid.
It wasn't a bad film, right?
No, it was cool.
I was getting my God on.
Yeah.
I had to pay for my
I
own
think I
stuff
was
back then.
13 when I got it. That was kind of it's kind of deep for that.
Yeah, it's kind of rated R, brother. What was your parents say?
I was like watching that Ghost Dog and shit. But talk about your relationship with Quentin, man, who's probably my favorite director of all time. He's Pulp Fiction and.
He's a genius, man.
He's incredible, man. But
I don't see him much nowadays. You know what I mean? But when I first came out here, he took the time to mentor me. I feel like I think the first 6 years of me being out here, I spent a lot of time with him, absorbing knowledge, and he has a great library. I had access to. There's hundreds of films that he would show that would enlighten me on what a film is and how to. Read it and how to recreate it. And once I did Man with the Iron Fist, which is a Quentin Tarantino presents, he produced it. And he, that was like, on the set of that movie, he's just, he's sitting behind me. I'm always sitting behind him.
Right.
I'm the guy.
He's letting you do your things. He's like whispering in your ear, like, hey, yo, maybe you should.
But he did say, the student has now become a master.
That's dope.
And that was the last time we ever really talked about film.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean? And
so y'all still keep in contact, but just not on.
We catch up now. It's like it's like I'm out of school, and every once in a while, you go back to see the professor. So I guess they had a big Reservoir Dogs 20th anniversary at Sundance this year, and I had nothing to do with Reservoir Dogs.
Of course not.
But I came in to see the professor. I flew in and hung out and just celebrated his celebration.
Being on that side of the spectrum now, we were talking about how music. People expect it for free these days. I feel like, I don't want to say TV's going down the same route, but kind of like, with all the streaming services, everything's on demand now.
Fire sticks, yo.
Fire sticks. I got the Kodi on the fire. Yeah, I already, the fire stick is straight up. But talk about like, is that, do you think that's a positive thing in TV? Because now you can digest like an entire show, like Californication's on Netflix, a show that you guest starred in. Like, you could just watch the whole fucking series. Like, you don't have to wait every week on Showtime. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think binging is healthy. You know what I mean? I think binging is healthy. I think there's
for the industry, but not for people, because they probably put some pounds on just sitting there, stuff in their face and not being active.
I think, depending on the show, that you should keep it balanced. But I think one thing we should never not forget, yo, in a serious business, it costs money to create entertainment at the level that we're doing it. Even if everybody who's listening to you right now on the radio, to put this room together, yo,
it all costs money.
It costs a lot of money, and it's an industry. So we need you to buy it. We need you to subscribe. We need you, or if not, just look at the sun, moon, and stars and enjoy that because
that shit's free for real.
Yeah, and I think the people, even with the Fire Stick, my cousin came over. Yo, I said, yo, not in my house, kid. Right. I said, I don't mind paying a little $49 a month, whatever cable costs. I'll pay for it because I know that every show may cost $3 to $4 million just to make one episode.
That's crazy.
Now I'm going to jack them for $50. I'm gonna jack the whole world. No, that's just how I feel about it because I understand. Yeah, no, I understand that. No, it takes us food. It just takes us. It takes capital, man. We live in capitalism. We need the capital to keep able to create it.
I just want to know, talk about some of the films you're working on for 2018.
Wow,
Now you got something coming.
Yeah, I got a film. We're going to start a new one, but I won't talk about that. But I've completed a film with it's called Life in a Year. Mm-hmm. I was in it as an actor. Jaden Smith.
Was Neil Long in that one?
Neil Long, Cuba Gooding. So that's the next time you'll see me on the silver screen right there. I think that's slated for top of the year.
Now, were you doing something with The Simpsons? I didn't know The Simpsons was still on.
Of course. How you not know The Simpsons?
I didn't know that.
The Simpsons is never gonna get canceled, bro.
I'm
It'll
sorry.
be a sad day in America.
I just knew the RZA was a part of it.
Yeah, I popped. It was me, Snoop, and who else was it? Common.
I ain't watched The Simpsons in a long ass time, man.
Yeah,
Nigga had
I
the
watch
RZA.
Bob's- I watch Bob's Burgers now.
You grew out of it, yo. But there's a new generation
It's
that
probably still
discovered it.
It's got to still be
You know
fun.
what?
You know what happened with The Simpsons? It's always gonna pop because it's The Simpsons. But like The Simpsons is from an era where like what they were doing back then was like edgy and like oh shit. But like now like with like Family Guy and all these new
It's on every
cartoons-
channel.
American Dad.
No, they're just fucking so much more raunchy than The Simpsons is. Like you used to think The Simpsons was raunchy in the
Right.
'90s, and all these new cartoons are fucking lit. Like
Everything is going to this like real raunchy level.
F is for
of
Family.
entertainment.
Like Bill Burr's cartoon is hilarious, but it is fucking.
You said it's going to what, raunchy?
Everything's going just hyper raunchy, hyper
Rick and Morty's a great cartoon too.
explicit. I feel like everything in this industry is going that way though.
But I think
In the
that you
movie.
gotta. So look, a kid's gonna discover. You discovered Simpsons as a kid,
Of course.
and maybe you was 9 years old. Let's say,
Right.
and the content was that of a 16, 17-year-old.
True.
You know what I mean? Now,
16, 17-year-olds got kids and shit.
Yeah, exactly. But for Family Guy is a 40-year-old mind.
Right.
I mean, Family Guy might pull out the booty beads on you. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
And you might not. You know what booty beads
Like,
is.
wait, of course.
Even in this room, we losing people. So.
If y'all don't know what anal beads are in this room, you guys are get the fuck out of here.
Everybody here.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
You kicking people out?
I'm just saying, if you're a fucking adult, my goodness.
You don't know what booty beads are? Get out of here.
Step your
man.
shit up,
But the
my
point,
G.
the point I'm making is that so you know your mind is further, so you need to see things that's up to there. Now, if a kid was to watch that, he still wouldn't get it.
True.
You know what I mean? Because he wouldn't know. He wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so. In the old days in music, the singers would say, "I want to love you down."
We know what that means.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, Minnie Riperton.
Go downtown.
Do you want to come inside me?
Yeah.
Do you want to ride?
Yeah. But it was so smooth.
It was
Yeah,
so
it was-
smooth
yeah.
that you get, yeah.
I
I'm
know
just
what she was
finding out
talking
what Too
about
Close
until-
was really about.
Next.
Yeah, by next.
Yeah.
I'm
Close
just
to-
actually just
know I'm
now
hard
recently.
right now.
I'm just recently
It's in the song. I mean,
listening to it. And I'm like, wait, this whole time. So I
As
get
a
what you're
man,
saying.
so that's the difference. So anyway, but entertainment is supposed to be there. It's supposed to unfold for you. But we definitely got to make sure we practice. I won't say censorship. Let's have somebody who's creating our Disney World. You know, that's keeping us. You know, in the
Responsibility.
PG,
Right.
the G, the PG, the PG-13. I think all those things is necessary.
For sure, 100%.
Because it helps a kid. Like I never showed. I have an 11-year-old son, and he has not seen. He only seen one rated R movie,
which one?
and I messed up with this one. Seriously, I had him watch Birth of a Nation with.
Oh wow!
Oh,
And yo,
Pretty serious
You
movie.
gave him a good rated R movie, right?
I messed up
He
bad.
went all in.
Because, he cried.
Oh,
And
shit.
he never cried on movies. And I was like, okay, I told him, right, I think we messed up.
Right.
We might have messed up, you know what I mean? He got to go to school tomorrow and shit.
He got
So
all
I
this
said-
shit on his mind.
Yeah, so I pulled back now. I had to go spend. Point I'm making is that, you gotta have that range so a child's mind can grow, with cinema or entertainment at a proper rate,
Talk about the era, the beautiful dark twisted fantasy era where you obviously work with Kanye and like records like White Dress, and I know you helped out with Watch the Throne and shit. But what was it like? What inspired you to get back to that shit during that time? Because I remember when I saw the RZA and Kanye's name together, it was like, oh shit.
Well, to be honest with you, right, bro, it's like if anybody calls me, I'm usually gonna show up. One of my Bobby Digital albums, I got a song called "Don't Be Afraid to Call My Name," because that's what I'm actually here for. I'm here for the service of the culture. So, ASAP Ferg reached out to me, and I went to see him, y'all. I made time to go see him. You know what I mean? When Joey Badass and them, they was like, they reached out, I invited them over to the crib. When ASAP Rocky wanted to, holler, I invited him over to the crib. Why? Because Quincy Jones invited me over to his crib. Isaac Hayes took time to sit beside me and mentor me. So when Kanye reached out, I just showed up. I didn't ask like how much, nothing. I just, where you at? I could be there in about 10 days. Cool. All right, see you in 10 days.
That's crazy, man.
You know what I mean? And that's how it's supposed to be.
Do you have like a batch of beats just ready? Like, yo, I'm showing up. I got a folder ready just for whoever.
If not, I most likely I do, but if I don't, I know somebody who do.
Now, I was about to say something because the last time I came to the crib and we was going through joints, because you was talking about RZA beats. Mm-hmm. He played some joints. I was like, yo, hold up. Where is it? I was like, yo, what you doing with that?
I just turned it off.
Yeah,
I think what's dope about you, RZA, last time I seen you, we was at Revolt for your video game. And he's still ciphering with the artists, Like, I feel like that really shows a love for lyricism and being a real MC where you still, what you love to do is still rhyme. Because there's some rappers, they get to a point and it's like, I don't freestyle no more. I don't do that anymore.
It's whether you get, the thing is, I started hip-hop when they wasn't paying me for it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Of course. You added the love.
Exactly. So it's a passion. And so I make a lot of money doing a lot of things, yo. You know what I mean? And I don't mind, sharing my talent, keeping it 100% real with a young artist. As well as I don't mind if a dude want to just come at it. You want to try me? Go ahead. It's like playing a game of chess. We can battle. But as far as that production, it's like hit the button, hit the bat signal, seriously, and I'll come through. When I hooked up with Ye, I was like, yo, whether we make a song or not is not even important, really. Our minds just talking sometimes. Sometimes just talking, and building does so much for us as a young artist, for another artist. And that, like I said, Quincy Jones, he never made a song with me, never. But he told me something in our conversation that gave us songs like Triumph.
Right.
You know what I mean? He told me the repeating phrase is the secret. I was like, repeating phrase? Ding! The light bulb went off. You know what I mean? And that led to a lot of things.
That's what's up, man. What was it like back in the day touring with Rage Against the Machine, going on that tour?
That was big, bro.
Because I remember as a kid, like I couldn't afford tickets. I couldn't come. Yeah, I couldn't come.
Couldn't get in that one.
Yeah, but like, how crazy was that tour, man?
That was our first big tour. I mean, it was starting.
That was after Wu-Tang Forever, right?
Yeah, Wu-Tang Forever had dropped. We had the #1 album in the country, and we was playing in front of 30,000 kids and better every night. You know what I mean? And I didn't think it would get no bigger than that, but it did get bigger when we went out to Europe and. What year was that when we played Serbia and it was like 100,000 W's up in the air?
Jesus Christ.
Is that
Did we call that moment though, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hey yo, that was
even Glastonbury. We did Glastonbury.
Yeah, that was big too. Yo. Now when I saw 100, but Glastonbury is English, so you could expect it's English speaking.
Serbia.
But to go to Serbia and to see 100,000 Wu-Tang W's up in the air, that was like, okay, I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Thank you, Father.
Well, yo, the new Wu album, when is it coming out? Saga continues?
October 13th.
October 13th, and we almost have every member on the album.
Almost. Libra season.
Almost. We had to hold something back for political reasons.
So someone's not on the album. Is it more than one guy not on the album?
We had to hold it back for political reasons.
Can you at least give us the number?
Look, I like this guy. He's doing your journalism.
Can you give us the number of members? The number of members.
He's doing this real journalism right now. I'm good with journalism.
I'm assuming the toss-up members Raekwon.
Look at this guy.
Ray is on People Say.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. So it's.
Don't worry about it.
We'll find out when the album comes out.
Yeah. Get the album.
But yo, RZA, I appreciate everything you've done, man. Thank you for Wu-Tang. When's the last time you played the Wu-Tang video game? Just random question.
I actually had my son pull out PlayStation.
The first PlayStation.
Yeah, PlayStation 1. And I had him play it just to show him that, hey, I've been in that digital world.
I had a motherfucking video game, son. You could be my character.
Yeah,
for sure.
I've been in that digital world. There's a hot new game out right now called Absolver. I don't know if you've seen that one yet. I don't know. You can download it. But I could swore they like some of the stuff is like, hey, did they take some of that from that?
You know
game?
they did.
Yeah, right? Maybe.
Will there be a resurrection? We're going to run through some quick questions, just quick Wu-Tang nerd questions. Is there going to be a resurrection of Wu-Wear? I know you guys did the shit with Rocksmith.
Yes,
You got to.
Yes, there's a
Wu-Wear.
resurrection. Wu-Wear would launch a whole new line.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Off the top of your head, as fast as you can, excluding yourself, top 5 producers of all time.
Excluding myself, I'm gonna go with the great Dr. Dre. I'm gonna hit you with Premier. I'm gonna bring you up to Timbaland. Timbaland's incredible.
Timbo, of
I'm
course.
gonna I'm gonna go to Pharrell, who was able to do it in all forms. But now I gotta go back. Man, I want to say Isaac Hayes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But you stopping me. But I'll tell you one guy who I think surpasses any generation. I think Stevie Wonder is just one of those people, man.
What about the best hip-hop album since Wu-Tang Forever's come out?
Wow. Man, let me see.
It's 20 years.
Wow, time was flying. Huh?
Yeah.
But the math, come on, help me out here.
For me, it's Beautiful Dark Twisted
Oh, you got to mention Marley Marl, too.
Yeah, gotta mention my man.
But that's my top 5. Marley.
Best hip-hop album in the last 20 years.
Wow, you said
First thing that pops up in your head.
That's not Wu?
That's not Wu, obviously.
Chronic 2001.
Chronic 2001. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yo, RZA, I can't wait to hear the
RZA.
album. Mathematics. Appreciate you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Peace.
I hope you deliver on this album.
Oh, nah,
I'm gonna be listening.
Hey, yo,
Come see me.
tweet
I'm
him.
gonna tweet you, man.
Come
I'm gonna
see
tweet
me.
you,
Come
yo.
see me.
Damn
Let me
it.
know what you think.
Good seeing you again.
It's Real 92.3.